Breaking news as the Yankees just made a shocking trade to acquire a great defensive player from the National League who is looking to bolster his offensive prowess in the Bronx. We'll break down the implications of this move and how it affects the Yankees season moving forward. What's going on, guys? Alex Brooks back here on Yankees Digest. Not in my normal elements here, but we just had to break this breaking news right here on Yankees Digest. But before we get into that, if you guys are not subscribed to these videos, if you're not a part of the 24.3% who are subscribed, you guys better hit that subscribe button and comment down below to join in on this conversation. But let's get right into this video as Ryan McMahon has been traded to the New York Yankees. Definitely something that has been on the Yankees' radar for a while. Didn't know who or what third baseman they were going to get, but the first shoe dropped here as Ryan McMahon is now a member of the New York Yankees. And this is definitely just interesting when talking about a guy from Colorado who hasn't had his best season so far. He hasn't had his best season. He hasn't been able to hit a lot in Coors Field, and he's also just been struggling on the road. But he is one thing that is very consistent with him is that he has the defense to make it and to do really well in the Bronx. Because when you're looking at what the Yankees have so far, Oswald Peraza and Corbett Vivas, the offensive numbers are not good with them. They're not good with them. And Ryan McMahon, even though he's not having his best season, he can still hit it out of the park and at an effective rate. And he has been doing well as of late recently, and I'll get more into that. But just looking at the trade in general. So Herring, a left-handed pitcher for the New York Yankees, who's the number 8 prospect, and Gross, the right-handed pitcher, was the number 21st prospect that was traded to the Rockies for Ryan McMahon. So Griffin Herring and Josh Gross from the Yankees for McMahon. That was Mark Feinsand who broke the news just earlier, just about an hour ago in time of recording. So it's definitely not a lot you have to give up for Ryan McMahon, as hasn't had his best season in Colorado. But one thing he is a lefty bat, and someone who has been able to dominate as someone who is a lefty going into in New York. We expect him to dominate in the Bronx and really just do what he needs to do. And he's having, he doesn't have to be, end all be all, but he's going to definitely be an upgrade over Peraza and Corbett Vivas. But when looking at just a little bit more on Ryan McMahon so far this season, this was from Yankees Go Yard. It said, if the Yankees are making moves this early before the deadline, it's hard not to view that as a good sign, especially since they are still armed with their best assets to trade. McMahon should only be the start with some more pitching and depth help on the way. And yeah, when looking at just what's on the way for the Yankees right now, when talking about McMahon, and I'll get more into his stats, but the Yankees are definitely, this is just the start of the trade deadline season so far, being able to get Ryan McMahon just to shore up that position. It's a stopgap situation right now for the Yankees. They do have control, so they might see a little bit more potential with Ryan McMahon, but he's definitely going to fill in that big hole that they need at third base. And just looking a little bit more on Ryan McMahon's stats so far this season, the batting average hasn't been there, but he does still have the home run numbers to really make dividends in this Yankees team. He had a good all-star season last season, and this season he's kind of been, kind of coming on the up and up, but he does have that flexibility with third base, second base, and first base, so he definitely has flexibility in the infield, and definitely someone you could see plug in and be an impact player as a lefty bat for the New York Yankees. And just looking at his last 7 games, I mean, he's batting .292, and he's had 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. So he's on the up and up, even going into this trade, I know the batting average doesn't say a lot for it for his season, but he has been on the up and up these past 7 games, this past week. So that's definitely interesting if you're Brian Cashman making this deal, trying to take advantage of the upside you have right now on McMahon to go into these big games against the Phillies this weekend, against the Rays next weekend, and then the Marlins coming up. So you definitely want to add someone before the deadline so he can get acclimated to the team. But what do you guys think regarding Ryan McMahon and what he can bring to this New York Yankees lineup, and also defensively for the Yankees infield to kind of shore up that defensive spot that they really desperately need? And just looking a little bit more on the pros and cons. This is from Yankee Source. He says that it's an excellent glove at third base. He adds some power, and really it's anything better than Oswald Peraza or Corbett Vivas, who are not even hitting above the Mendoza line. The only thing when we're talking about the cons is that he has a lot of strikeouts, unknown outside of Coors. He's been not really good outside of Coors Field, so it'll definitely be an adjustment being in Yankee Stadium, but having that short porch definitely helps. And then below average offense, but as I mentioned before, when compared to Peraza and compared to Corbett Vivas, he can be the Alex Rodriguez compared to those guys, because he's definitely has the numbers to succeed, even though the batting average doesn't say a lot so far. And just looking at his career, he has been able to kind of be consistent over his career, but he's only played in Colorado. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how he does regarding getting away from Colorado. If it's something where now he has a new change of scenery, is he going to elevate himself being in the Bronx? We saw with Jazz Chisholm last year. Jazz Chisholm was kind of struggling a little bit. He got into the Bronx, and he's finding his way during this season. So he's definitely finding his own way and finding what he needs to do in the Bronx. Maybe that could be the same for McMahon. McMahon, Chisholm, they're both lefty bats. They both have that short porch, and they should be really accepted as a New York Yankee moving forward, because this is going to help the third base defensively, and I think that's what the Yankees are trying to do. They're trying to do run prevention, then run scoring, because you got guys like Bellinger, you got guys like Judge, you got guys like Grisham who are batting the ball out of the park and getting on base. So having someone who can be run prevention and have that upside a little bit with the bat so far in this last week, that's definitely a very smart play by Brian Cashman. And this goes over to the conversation about Oswald Peraza. So now with McMahon, the Yankees are out of the Suarez sweepstakes because they added McMahon. Now Oswald Peraza, he seems like he's the odd man out. He'll probably either be sent to AAA, he might be released, or he might be in a trade package to get a reliever or get a starting pitcher. And you really don't know if what Oswald Peraza is going to go with so far past the Yankees, but I don't really see a fit on him this season, because you're looking at that batting average, 147, 3 home runs and 13 RBIs, just not cutting it, and the Yankees desperately needed that after letting go of LeMahieu and letting go and just having no real option. So now they have Ryan McMahon here for the foreseeable future. He's under contract for a little bit right now, and he's under contract until 2027. So you definitely have him for the foreseeable future this year, and then not just as a rental piece, someone who can develop in the Bronx like Jazz Chisholm last year. He wasn't a rental. He had the experience that he did going into the World Series last year, and now he's gaining a little bit more, and now he's a fan favorite here in the Bronx. And I expect a lot of big things from Ryan McMahon as he tries to get his average up and tries to hit the baseballs out of the short porch. But that's going to do it for another edition of Yankees Digest. Appreciate all the support you guys are giving us. We just hit over 8,000 subscribers, and I just had to break these breaking news. Not the normal setup here. This is not the normal setup. Shout out to the boy for helping me to get this all set up. But anyway, that's going to do it for another edition of Yankees Digest, and I hope you guys have a great night and more trade deadline moves are going to be made. And guys, let's go Yankees.